I'm not trying to be a relationship expert. I'm just trying to genuinely share with you what I've learned and what I continue to learn and grow in. Take what you want, leave what you don't like. I'm just sharing my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoy. Hey everyone, my name is Janae if this is your first time here. If you are returning, then welcome back. In this video, I want to share with you 5 things that you could do before marriage that will definitely help your relationship to be stronger and just overall better. I'm not going to say you should do these things because I'm not going to tell you what you should and should not do, but I highly recommend that you consider doing these things because it'll just make your life a whole lot better, and your husband's, or your wife if you're a guy and you're watching this. Number 1 of the things you should consider doing is to work on your mental health. As a man or a female, I think this is very important, because if you're not in a good, healthy, happy mental space within yourself, then getting into a relationship and getting into a marriage is just kind of setting you both up for disaster, because you're already dealing with whatever's going on mentally, whether it be insecurities or whether it be just things you're struggling with, and that's just gonna pour over onto your spouse, and I don't feel like that's very healthy or very good. So try, of course, nobody's perfect. You still struggle with things, even in marriage and even as you get older, but try to work on it. At least start working on your mental health and trying to get into a healthier, happier place, whether this be going to see a mentor, a pastor, or even a therapist. People can help, depending on how severe your mental state is. We're all at different space and headspace, so it's definitely okay. Don't feel ashamed if you need to go and seek other help. Definitely do it for you and your partner. It will definitely pay off and you'll be glad you did it. So yeah, work on your mental health. Number 2 is to be confident and comfortable in yourself and in your body. So this is a huge thing, especially when you get married, because it's like, it's like the two become one. So that means you getting naked a lot. Just gonna put it out there. I mean, we all do it. No one talks about it very much, even in the Christian community. I feel like whole sex and being naked and stuff isn't talked about enough. I'm not gonna go all into detail of that, but long story short, be confident in yourself, especially when it comes to your body. Now, again, we all have insecurities. I know for me personally, I struggled with body image for a little time, but once I kind of worked on that a lot before I got married. So then when I got married, it wasn't just dumped all on him, because then when he saw, occasionally it would come out like I was insecure about my stomach or something, and it would impede our intimacy, because he'd be like, why are you so stressed out? You're trying to cover up your stomach, but I'm just trying to make love to my wife. And so that's where the clash would be like, not good. So I needed to get to the point where I was okay in my body and I actually loved and accepted my body. So then when it comes to doing the husband and wife things, I have confidence, and he sees that confidence too. Disclaimer to pretty much anything. If you're insecure about anything, whether it be the way you look or the way your body is, if you look confident and you actually are confident inside, that will radiate out, and your insecurities, probably no one will even notice. So that's a huge key, even for a man. I mean, I'm not a man, but I'm sure there's men out there who struggle with that. So especially work on becoming confident in your own skin, in your own body before you get married, because when you get married, there's nothing worse than a husband and wife being super insecure about their body. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Like I said, stuff like this doesn't just go away overnight, but if you start working on it, it will definitely help you when you get into your marriage to have less problems. Number 3, pray for your future husband, or if you're a guy, pray for your future wife. This is very important, because even if you're not even dating, you should pray for your future spouse, because There's nothing more powerful than prayer, in my opinion. And if you are even in a serious relationship, or maybe you're engaged, still pray for them. Pray for God to use them, and just pray for them to be more godly and just the best spouse they can be for you, and pray for yourself too, that you can be the best spouse that you can be for them. All right, and number 4 is to avoid any expectations, but stand by your standards. I know this could be a whole separate video, but to put it in short, when you have certain expectations, like, oh, I expect my husband to do the dishes every day, or I expect my wife to cook for me every day. And then when you get into a relationship, and when you get into a marriage even, say you didn't talk about those things, and now you just all of a sudden expect your spouse to do these things for you, that starts a whole bunch of other strife that wouldn't have happened, 1, if you just talked about it, and 2, if you didn't really set expectations. You can have like things that you want each other to do, yes, talk about them, but try not to set your standards so high that it's hard and nearly impossible for your spouse to meet them. And when I say void your expectations but stand by your standards, you can have standards. Standards is a good thing. Of course, your standards should align with God's word. And if they're in line with God's word, then you should not be ashamed with them. So stand by your standards, but try to lower any super huge expectations you have. Okay, number 5, the last one, is to look for red flags. Only you know what this means. It can mean something different for everyone. Say, for example, a certain standard of yours is, okay, they have to want a family because I really want kids. So if this guy doesn't want a family, I'm not gonna do it. And say you go on a date, or your second date, and you realize they seriously do not want kids under any circumstance. Of course, this is just an example. Bear with me. Look for that red flag. Don't just push it under the bus and be like, oh, well, maybe they'll change in the future. Because 95% of the time, they will not change. Only God can change them, and yes, he can. But when it's something like that, don't just brush it under the bus. Look at it like, okay, this is a major red flag because it's important to me. Another red flag could be like you're dating and you're looking for someone who really has, a relationship with God and wants to grow the relationship with God. So you meet someone, you're hitting it off, and then you find out they don't really believe in God. They don't do none of that stuff, and they're not really open to it. Even if they are open to it, look at it as a red flag. Proceed with caution however you want, but if they're definitely like, oh yeah, God's not really my thing, even though they meet all the other checklists, if God is a huge part in your life, which it isn't mine, then that should be a major red flag set off. And again, do not ignore it, because you're only going to regret it in the future. Okay, that was a lot. So I hope you enjoyed these 5 things to do before you get married, or really get into any relationship. They apply to relationships as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Leave your comments down below, and let me know what you want to see next. Until next time. Oh, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my other videos. And I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.